is a video podcast where I like to talk about cross-stitch. And I'm very excited for today's episode because it'll be slightly different to what I usually have for you guys. And I have a lot of fun things planned in the coming weeks. So I don't even really know where I should start explaining, but maybe let's start with a very exciting milestone that this channel hit. And it's actually kind of an invisible one for you guys. I hit the 1,000 subscribers back in the summer, which is one very exciting milestone in the YouTube community. And it is so exciting because there is a second milestone attached to it, which is the watch time in the past year. And if you hit 4,000 there, your channel will get monetized. And I actually don't really hear a whole lot of people talk about this, at least not in the Flosstube community. But yeah, I hit that second milestone, which I only see in my YouTube analytics. So you guys would not necessarily know. So yay, my channel is monetized. And I actually haven't checked. Hang on. Let's check together, shall we? How much money have I made since it's been monetized? It's quite hilarious, guys. Hang on. Nope, that's YouTube. That's not YouTube Studio. Drum roll. €1.50. So yay. So no, it's not about earning the money. I mean, I've been doing this for like 7 years or something, or not quite, but nearly. And yeah, clearly I'm still doing it and I haven't been paid a single cent since. So I'm definitely not doing it for the income. Although when like friends and family are asking me like why I'm doing this and like what if I get paid and stuff, and I always said like it would be really nice if the hobby would start paying for itself. But with €1.50 in I think 2 weeks or something, we're still a few ways off, but it's still just exciting, you know, just for the fact that all the ads that are being played anyways with my video now actually give a little bit of feedback to me and not just YouTube profiting off the videos I do and the work I put into these. So it's just exciting, and I thought I would kind of try and give back to the community in little ways, even if I can't really afford any monetary value to give back right now. But I thought I could finally provide you guys with that video that I keep promising you guys. And I'm very, very happy to say, as of this moment, it is fully edited and is already uploaded to YouTube. It's just not available yet, but I finally did that tutorial video that I meant to do on explaining how to get the PDF into the CrossStitch Saga software. So I did it, yay! And I'm so excited. So together with this video, at the very same time, I'll also drop and upload that video, or I'll just make it available because it's already uploaded. Not only that, I actually ended up filming so much because my plan all along was to also show you a little bit around CrossStitch Saga and just tell you about the software and all the functions. And I ended up splitting that video in two. So we'll have 2 tutorials coming out together with this video. The one explaining how you get your PDF into CrossStitch Saga, and then the other one explaining how to stitch with CrossStitch Saga. So depending on where you are, if you already know and love CrossStitch Saga and you just want to know how you get all your charts in there, watch the one. I'll link it up there. And then if you don't even know if you like Saga and are just curious to learn about the software, well, then watch that video. And I'm probably pointing in the wrong corner because I always do, but I'll just do that one. So anyways, but maybe watch this one first, because in this video, I am going to wrap up my Great British Bake Off stitching. If you've been following me, you know that I've been stitching along to the Great British Bake Off Challenge, started by Jessy Marie from Jessy Marie Does Stuff. She kind of came up with the rules, and I've been sticking to her rules, yeah, pretty much fully. And I'm very, very happy. I completed the challenge. I did all the episodes. I did all my stitching that I needed to do. We are a little bit late. I think the last episode aired, how long ago now? 2 or 3 weeks even? No, I think just 2 weeks ago. And I always obviously stitched after the week after the last episode dropped. And I think it took me until Saturday and not Friday, where technically my time frame ended to finish all my stitching. But I was very proud because I actually, last time I shared with you guys, I still needed to catch up a few stitches with like previous episodes. But I've done all that, and I thought to kind of do like a mini whip parade, even though like 2 months ago this would have been a full whip parade because I had one project per player and that was it. But I've since started 1 or 2 and have planned to start even more, so it'll be definitely worthwhile coming back to my whip parade, which I plan on filming right at New Year's, I think. But yeah, more on plans later, actually. So maybe let's just get into the stitching. And yeah, and I thought I'll just go through all the projects. I'll show you where I'm now and show you kind of the beginning of the challenge and tell you a few stats that go with it. Sorry, if I'm looking down, my notes are down here. And I have printed out a cool sheet. I'll probably also insert, because as I was playing the challenge, I made these sheets here in PowerPoint, and I kind of filled out who lost, how many stitches I owed and all that stuff. And I put in all the work and I never shown them. I only scribbled kind of with hand life. So I'll insert them as I'm talking about this, maybe somehow. Or if I don't have any room because I'm showing before and afters. But whatever. So some projects I haven't put in any more work since they got canceled out from the show. Some of the projects I was just still stitching on since the last time I podcasted. So we'll just kind of see a mix of progress. And yeah, and some projects I worked on after the show was done. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix. Don't come after me if the sums don't all make sense. But I think we'll still get a good idea of what I accomplished as part of this show. And yeah, I'm going to go through the projects as they were canceled from the show. So we're going to start with a project that got canceled first. And then at the very end, we're going to see the winning project, which also, spoiler alert, got the most progress during the whole stitching challenge. And yeah, so let's get started. So in the first week, and I'm not gonna, I don't know what kind of, I know first week was cake week, but I might not know that all the time. But in the first week, we lost my winter piece, and the winter piece will look like this when it is done. And it is a chart by Puck's Closet, which is an Etsy store. And yes, I started this project at 5.6%, and you'll probably see the before in the screen as well. And this is where I'm at now. I added 613 stitches and brought it up to 6%. So I added 0.4%. And yeah, no overwhelming progress, but it is progress nonetheless, which is nice. And I'm trying not to dwell too long on these projects, but sorry, it's living in one of my project bags. Actually, I opened all the zippers. I'm very proud. But yeah, I'm stitching this on 25 count 2/110 stitch. And it is getting quite bulky because this project is quite confetti heavy, I think. But yes. Again, not too many details, otherwise we're going to be here forever. The second project we lost, and I also only stitched on for the eliminated player stitches, was the Hanged Man, which is part of the, I forgot the name. It's from the Witchy Stitcher, and it's her Nostalgic. It's her Nostalgic Tarot, and I completed the full, and I'm stitching currently on the Hanged Man. And this was attached to the player we lost in the second episode, and I'm going to insert where it was before. So there we go. This is where I got to, and I added 501 stitches, bringing the project to 49.1%, and I started at 38.2%. There. Woohoo! And I did sort of a stash conversion with this one, plus I changed a lot of the pink accents to blue accents on this project. Sorry, there was a zipper. The next project we lost, but I also put in a few stitches before the project got eliminated, is my Ragnarok piece, which is a long dog sampler. I'm gonna have to remember to actually tell you all the typical stats for these projects too. I'm stitching this on a 36 count linen, I think. Is it 36 count? I think it's 36 count, that I hand dyed myself, and I'm stitching with silk. And here's where I'm at. Ooh, I need to zoom out a little bit because I stitched quite far down, but I think I'm gonna have to kind of make it smaller to show the before and after. So we're just kind of focused on the new progress area. So let's see if we can get this in together. Yeah, and how much work did I put in here? So this project started with 10.3%. I added 1,069 stitches, and that was exactly 2% added within the challenge. So yay. I really like this project. When I was thinking about my plans for next year, I was thinking of maybe making this a priority. Didn't make the cut, but it was a strong contender. So yeah, I enjoy stitching on this one. The next project we lost, and I don't think I did too much on this. No, this also only got the stitches, the 500 that you needed to put in for the eliminated player is... I didn't show you the final image for Ragnarok, but I do show it quite a lot. So, but yeah, the next one is A Bird's Summer, which is a Luca S kit. And I'm stitching with all the kit materials, which is, I think, an 18 count Ada. And I started the project at 8.2%. It's now at 12.3 because I added 506 stitches. Yay. So that's cool. I need to stitch more on this project. Now I'm like live rethinking my plans. I already made my plans for next year, but that's gonna be next week's video. I'm planning on filming that right after this. And then release next week a plans video, but more on that later. The next project that had to go was Kakomu, which is artwork by Margaret Morales, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started that in the summer, and that's my first project. Was it my first? No, I think I started The Witcher first. But anyways, it is a project that I am stitching on 32 count 1/1 tent using a CXD, and this is where I got, and this project got 1,043 stitches, going from 3.2 to 3.6% complete, which isn't too crazy, but progress is progress, and I really like this. I like the colors in this and the flowy textures and stuff that are in this. So yeah, really enjoying stitching all this. The next project, which is still, you've seen the full progress on this, is one I like and lots of you guys like because there's nobody else stitching on this because it's a chart I created myself, and that is my Tomb Raider piece, where I stitched the front cover images of the latest Tomb Raider games together and charted it, and I started in the top right corner. So I have a ton of that gradient done there, and I started with the challenge. Where are you? There, at 5.5%. I added 959 stitches. And now the project is at 6.2%. Do you know what? Yeah, see? Like, yeah, I started this at 15,557 and I ended it at 17,446, which is around 2,000 stitches between. So yeah, somehow my stitches added within the challenge is wrong. But yes, it started at 5.5 and it's at 6.2. I already said that. Sorry, guys. I try to make good notes, but as you notice these errors, I can't really deny noticing them, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoy stitching on this project. This is also 25 count 2/110, which I think is a really good choice for this project, at least where I'm right now. I mean, it is a gradient, so it's not crazy confetti. It's a lot of checkerboard, but I'm really happy with how the gradient is kind of coming out. I mean, some colors move into one another better than others, but all in all, I'm still quite happy with this one. So yay. And I love the colors. I love my floss cards on this. I love floss cards. I moved to stitching with master sets for my projects where I am either stitching with DMC or just CXC, but this is, for instance, a mixed project, so I still have my floss cards, and I must say I love them because it's the colors that I'm very color driven, and so I really enjoy seeing the colors on my projects. So the next player that had to leave the competition was attached to my favorite piece up to date, and that is my Gecko Rouge kit. So this is Pumpkin Spice Cottage, artwork by Kate Brazier. And again, I purchased a kit from Gecko Rouge, and it's my favorite piece. What can I say? And this is one of the projects that I added stitches after I was done with the challenge. So you'll see more, and actually I had my phone ready to tell you how many stitches I actually added since the last time you saw this. First of all, I started this project at 8.5%, and within the challenge I added 1,216 stitches. So I'll show you where it was at the beginning of the show, but since those 1,216 stitches, I added another 270. So that's what you'll see live. But yeah, I'm still quite happy with the progress that I made within the challenge. I actually, and that's what I achieved in the last stitching session, I finished that page and I finished the pumpkins, which was my goal to achieve in the fall. And we still have the fall. I know I said I wanted to get it done within October, did not get that done, but it's done now and it's still the fall. So I'm still quite happy about it. But yes, I love this piece. I'm not sure where I want to move next, but I think I might move up. I think I might move the frame and then move into the top, or I don't know. I just haven't made a decision. What should I do? Should I kind of finish the hoop and finish those pages here, which is still a lot of work? Or should I kind of move up from the house and just kind of work the side row of pages up and then kind of come down with a row of pages, kind of do that kind of movement over and over, but then I move the hoop a lot. But that might be exciting. I don't know. What should I do? More confetti or getting into easier areas? I think that is the question here for this project. Good. So the next project coming up here is my Woodland Santa tree skirt, which is a project where I was still owing progress to, I think, in the last episode. So hang on. But all the stitching I did was within the show. So yeah, I added 585.5 stitches since the last time you've seen this. And yeah, the new animal has appeared. So I stitched the fox. He has no face. And I actually also did some backstitch on the bunny there. So yay, I'll probably show you where I was in the last episode. I should have probably done that for the pumpkin spice cottage too. Maybe I'll snuck it in somehow. I don't know if I left room for that, but yes. So you would have seen that now, and then let's look at where it was in the very beginning when we started this show, because I brought this project from 5.8% to 12.7%, adding 920.5 stitches. Yay! Cool. So nearly 1,000 stitches on this project. Oh, and I didn't show you. This is what it will look like in the end. I haven't done my color change yet. I talked about in my last episode how I want to change the polar bear from brown to more blue-gray. And I am convinced he's supposed to be a polar bear. I mean, I said I couldn't tell last time, but that's just because the colors are so confusing. But I think the shape of his head is very polar bear. Brown bears have a different shaped head. So I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a polar bear, but the colors are just not very polar berry. Very, very dirty polar bear. It's more like a zoo polar bear, because those are very, very yellow. Okay, can't get this in the bag right now. Okay, ooh, we're down to the last 4 projects. So I guess, yeah, in the semifinals, wow, we're in the semifinals. We lost my Loon, which is my oldest project. And I really, really like it a lot. And I've done quite a lot on this, I feel like. Yeah, I added 3,272 stitches. So yeah, let's maybe look at the before from last time, because since last time, sorry guys, since last time I added 632 stitches, which I don't really remember. I think the progress is to the right of the Loon. Sorry, my needle's sticking in here. So yeah, that's what I was stitching on. But yes, I think from the before at the beginning of the show, we're going to see some nice progress. I was stitching in the background mainly. There's a few stitches that went into the Loon, but I really wasn't in the mood to stitch the background, and I'm very happy. So this project started at 30.1% and I added 4%. So that is really great. And I'm excited to see this one moving forward. And I enjoy stitching on it. And I made a plan to kind of on a method on how to stitch on this. But more on that in my plans video, because this project has a bit of a role to play in my plans. Okay, and now we're in the finals. So there's still some fresh progress to be seen. So maybe let's just look at the progress since last episode. And I guess this is a 3rd place project within the finals. And that is Adjust Your Sails. So I started this project at, oh no, hang on. So since last time, I added 648 stitches because I don't really remember. Oh, do I have it here? Oh yeah, that was just for the eliminated. So for the finals, since there weren't any particular rules from Jessy Marie, I just decided to do 500 stitches for the eliminated players as per usual. So we had 2 with 500 stitches, and then do the technical calculations the same way as I've been doing. And then for the winner, I added 1,000 stitches. I just thought to do a little bit more than the 700 you would usually give to the winner, since it is the winner of the entire show. So yes, that's what I did. So I had to add 500 stitches on this one, and I added 648. And I don't remember where I worked on, clearly not in the top. Oh yeah, here, look. I filled in 2 waves, and I think I worked, oh yeah, I did some French knots with a fishy. I added the top of the squid, and I think these stitches here, somewhere down here, you'll see in the before. And now let's look at the progress within the entire show, because again, this started at 37%, and now it's at 36.3%. I've added 1,567 stitches to this project. So yay. This one is the one with the most project, just percentage wise, so progress. So I would really like to finish this soon, but more on that in my plans. It's so hard to not talk about everything because, yeah, I'm trying to like not make this video too long. That's kind of why I decided to exclude all the extra stuff from this episode. But yes, so a second place, runner-up to the show, is very exciting because this was a new start for when I started stitching with the challenge, and I really fell in love with this project. It's a project for my daughter, and it's called Snow Leopard, and it's charted by Pain Free Crafts. The artwork is by George Wildlife Art. Sorry for the glare. And yeah, it's so cute. It's so awesome. It's gonna look so nice. This is a confetti crazy piece. And again, this was a new start, so there won't be any before. This is all what I stitched within the challenge, but I'll show you the before from the last episode. Because since the last episode, I added how many stitches? 915 stitches. So we have a page finish, which is super exciting. And yeah, not much else to say about this other than that. You can definitely tell this is gonna be fur. And those are the dark spots of the leopard. Yeah, I really love this. Even though it's crazy confetti, the colors are still, it's not a million colors in this chart, so you still get a lot of stitches of one color kind of in the same area. And they're just exploded everywhere. But they're not crazy far apart. So I really enjoy stitching on this. This is also a 25 count, but I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross, because I was worried it would get too bulky otherwise. And yeah, this is the only project I'm stitching on my scroll frame, and I enjoy it. It's a bit more of a hassle to kind of sit down with it because I have it like wrapped to my armchair. Then I can't get up because I'm like boxed in by my scroll frame, but that still works quite nicely. So that's why I do it. Yeah, and hang on, I didn't tell you. So in the entire show, I added 3,472 stitches. So that's what you just saw. And that is 4.5%. So I'm nearly at 5% there. So that's cool. It'll be exciting once I hit the 5%. And drum roll, please. The winner of the show kind of was a bit obvious as we were stitching along with the show. Oh no, that is a zipper I did not open, but it is living in one of my homemade bags as well. And that is my Witcher piece. So we saw a lot of progress on this piece. But let's show you the chart first. So this is another chart that I created myself, photoshopping a little bit different images together from the Witcher series and the game, and there's also the background is from like a board game. So yes, this is my largest piece with over 300,000 stitches total. So I added, and now let's look at the progress since the last time you saw this, because I added exciting colors. I'm pretty sure I also finished a page since last time you saw this. So look at this. So you'll see where I was in the last episode. So I finished the page of his lower half of the face, which I think is finished somewhere around here. And now I moved on to this page and I'm stitching the sword. So we had a lot of fun yellows and greens to stitch since last time. The amount added since last time is 2,930 stitches. So yeah, there'll be a huge jump. because I feel like those stitches aren't in that sum either there, but oh well. Yes, I had a lot of stitches to catch up on because that player just got Story Player, Story Baker all the time. And I was struggling to keep up with that. But I did all the stitches I needed to do. And I'm super happy, obviously, with the progress. And now I'll show you the picture from the very beginning of the show. I brought this project from 0.8% to 2.72%. And I added nearly, yeah, my sum here is off too. I think we are missing the 2,900 I was just telling you right now, because I started at 2,871 stitches and I'm now at over 10,000 stitches. So I added over 7,000 stitches, which is awesome. Yay! So I was definitely happy to be done with the stitches, not gonna lie. I wouldn't say I burned out on this piece, but having to always consistently do so many stitches on this definitely was getting a little bit old because this is a lot of confetti. I also stitched this on 32 count 1/1 tent is the other project I do that on. And yeah, but I really like it. I think this is a great piece to do that. I think the face was particularly hard to stitch though, because it's a lot of light colors and it was a lot of confetti, but I'm moving towards areas where we have more block stitching. So we have kind of his shoulder, which is still going to be a ton of confetti because it's kind of his chainmail. So, you know, like silvery gray and then highlights of white. So that's going to be a lot of confetti, but then here is kind of background and his arm, and that's a lot of black and blue in the background. So I hope we're going to cool a little bit the confetti craziness once we're moving that way. But I mean, that's still quite a few pages there. But yay, I'm super, super happy with the way everything landed. I never really talked about this as I was stitching along the challenge, but obviously, the stitches I needed to do, I was just taking them face value. I didn't distinguish between a half cross project and a full cross project. And honestly, if this would have been any other project attached to this player, I don't think I would have been able to keep up with it. Like, because this was a 10-stitch project. I mean, I guess there would have been easier ones, like my Tomb Raider piece. I think it would have been even easier to keep up with it, but I'm very happy that I had a 10-stitch project for the winning player because it was a lot of stitches. But yeah, another interesting thing, I thought when I started this challenge that this challenge would make me stitch more, maybe. But I kind of looked back into my Notions and I check all my progress in Notions. I didn't actually. I was looking at my weekly averages or how many stitches I did each week, and I was kind of looking since the time kind of in the middle of the summer, and my stitch average is around 2,500 stitches per week. That seems to what I'm able to get. Sometimes more if whatever we're away for the weekend, especially, then I definitely get less stitches done. It can be as low as 1,800 or something. And sometimes more if I just have a good week or I'm stitching on projects that just get progress quicker. But that didn't really change with the challenge. The challenge just happened to really sum up to about that, what I needed to do. So that's a nice information to have now going forward. It's not something I ever really looked at. I was always looking at like daily stitches, but I'm not this daily type of person. I don't really set daily goals because some days I can stitch and some days I cannot. So the number, knowing kind of how many stitches I can do in a week makes more sense for me because that averages more over the non-stitch days and the stitch days. So yay, that's definitely something I learned about myself. And yeah, I also know, even though I was doing the challenge and I was having fun with it, it didn't necessarily make me stitch more. But all in all, I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely be doing this challenge again next year, if not something other new and shiny. comes up that I want to do instead. But yeah, I'm really happy that I did it. But I'm also happy that it's done and that I now can just stitch on whatever I want. And I was struggling actually a little bit last week because I wanted to stitch, but I didn't want to add too much progress to all these projects and then have it all messed up for my kind of roundup of the stitching challenge. But I just didn't have time last weekend to film, unfortunately, which is why we're doing it today. And yeah, but that is all the progress I have to show. I was stitching on a few other things because I might have had a new start as well. But I want to show all of that in next week's episode, because what my plan is right now is to film actually all the remaining progress and then talk about my plans, because I have a few plans for the end of the year and December, and also then just my plans for the year 2026. So I want to go into that a little bit, show you some acquisitions I've had and that new start that I teased. Maybe I even start something new. I might tack that on then, because next weekend I'll be gone, which is why I kind of want to pre-film that video. But yeah, that's maybe just my very, very short-term plan, and everything else fun I have planned. I'll talk about next week. One more thing though, and that kind of goes back, and let me just check my notes if I forgot anything. Yeah, no, the one last thing that I'm really just brainstorming with you guys, and I would like some feedback back on what you think about that, because as I hit my milestone and was thinking, well, obviously I couldn't have hit that milestone without you guys clicking like and subscribe and commenting and helping my channel get a little bit more traction on YouTube. I was thinking of another way I could give back to you, which I already have some plans, which I'll talk about in the plans video. So there's just going to be some videos in the form of thanks. But I also thought, because I do enjoy charting images and stuff, and but obviously making charts like this available for the public is not something I can do, because I obviously don't have the rights to these images. And I think for me personally, it's not a problem if I use them and chart them and stitch them for myself. But obviously if I would give out that chart, that is where we would get into sticky copyright issues. So I wouldn't want to do that. And then I was thinking, well, what could I chart? And that is my own artwork. So if you've been following me since the very beginning, since I did my knitting podcast, you would know that I am not an artist, but I do enjoy my creative art journaling things. And I was thinking maybe I could give you a choice of images, pictures that I created as an art journaler. And you could choose one that you like, and then I could chart it and then just kind of make that available to you guys. I actually did a Ko-Fi shop thinking maybe I could offer stuff like that for free. I don't know if that is possible on Ko-Fi, but yes, I do have one attached to this channel. I haven't even looked at it. I always wanted to kind of go on my husband's account and kind of look at my channel and see if you can even see that, if you can see that already, because it is linked to this channel somehow. And let me know. But otherwise, I'll have to kind of figure out how the mechanics of that work, and then if I can offer something in my Ko-Fi shop for €0 or dollars or whatever, to kind of give back to the community that way. But yeah, let me know if that is remotely interesting to you. I would obviously show you the images first. But yeah, just tell me if that sounds interesting, or if I'm like, no, this is cross stitch. We want to do like proper artwork. We're not going to waste our time on some crafty crap you created. So, yeah, let me know. And then I would maybe scan some of my artwork. Maybe I can do like a little flip as one of the extra thingies I do. We'll see how long next week's episode were. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a flip of the things that I was considering for this. And then you could tell me just generally yes or no. And then we go into me scanning and properly and then giving you a choice of which one I then end up charting. So just let me know if you think this is a totally stupid random idea or if this is something that would be kind of cool and fun and you guys would be maybe interested in stitching some of my artworks that I charted. But yes, that's just an idea. Let me know. But I think that is all that I have for you guys right now. Again, check out my other 2 videos that are going live right now with this video. The tutorial on the CrossStitch Saga, my favorite cross-stitch app. And not sponsored. I realized I never mentioned that within my videos, but I'm not sponsored by them. I'm really just a fan and I want more people to use this app because that would mean more designers will also provide the Saga files and then you don't need to mess around with the whole transforming them. I mean, it's easy. It's really, really easy, I promise you, but it is an extra step and not all charts work. That's also something I guess I should add. That it's like Pattern Keeper. Not all charts work with Pattern Keeper. Not all charts work with, what's the other one called? Markup RXP. So it's the same with that software either. It's not all the charts work, but a lot of them do. So awesome. Anyways, go watch those 2 videos. Even if you know everything, you might still learn something with a Saga because even though if you already watched a tutorial online, they constantly add new features. So I'm showing you all of them, at least at the point of filming. Who knows if they roll them up day to day. It would be awesome though. But yes, okay. I'm really, really rambling now. To finish off this episode, I always ask you guys for an emoji. Here, this one's looking at me. Do some kind of cat. A wild cat or something. I'm sure they have like a leopard, cheetah, something. So throw me an emoji of a wild cat and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.